Alright, so as someone who always moved from city to city from a young age and then went to a boarding school at the age of 12, now living away from my family for almost 2 years, I picked up a thing or two on how to have healthy people around you, the correct people around you that push you forward and not pull you down. Now in this video, I'm going to share with you guys insights from my current friend group along with some things that I'm staying mindful of. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Yusuf and I'm a self-improvement enthusiast. On this channel, I share things that allow me to live the life that I want. Now, having the right company around you is, I'd say, 70% of that, and I'm just really glad we're going to be diving into it today. So when I was younger and I lived in New York for Quran school, I went there around the age of 12. I didn't have any of my immediate family around me. The only family that I had around me was 2 uncles that lived in New Jersey, and I would go and visit them maybe once a month or once every 2 months, depending on how often my supervisor would allow me to visit them. Now, whenever I would go, one of the visits I would stay with one uncle, and then the second visit I would stay with my second uncle. I'll kind of alternate between the two. And so each of my uncles only had one son, and each son was very, very different. So one cousin was, I'd say that we're gonna point him as a good cousin. We're gonna point the second cousin as the bad cousin. Now, he wasn't evil or anything, but he just didn't have the best habits. My good cousin was a lot older than me. He's about 10 years older than me. My evil cousin is maybe 2-3 years older than me. Now, whenever I would go and visit my good cousin, he would always be talking to me about combat sports, watches, into comic books, and to a whole world of what was outside of this little bubble that I was living in my Quran school, right? And every time I went there, I would feel extremely inspired, and I'd go back and share a lot of stories with my friends in boarding school. Now, I would share the stories that he shared with me with them, and obviously they would benefit from a lot of the wisdom that he was pouring into me from a young age. Now, on the other side of that, whenever I would visit my bad cousin, he had this addiction of playing video games, and I don't have anything against people that play video games, but at the time it was just a very, very bad habit, because we would play FIFA and we played Mortal Kombat, we'll play Call of Duty, and just other random games that he was very competitive in, all the way up until maybe 3-4 o'clock. I was so young at the time, like I think I was 13 or 14. I would love the cousin that was playing video games and just eating a lot of junk food and not really taking care of his mind or taking care of his future in that sense, you know? I was a kid and I would go there frequently, and at the same time I would go back to my New York school and I would kind of share the stories and share the experience that I had with my friends in the boarding school of what I was doing with my bad cousin. But this time, the only thing that was majorly different was my energy levels were bad. I was just more sad because I wasn't eating properly. I would only visit him and stay with him for maybe a weekend or a week max, right, at the most part. But this still had a detriment towards my overall quality of life. Now, as I got older and I kept visiting both cousins, good cousin, bad cousin, I started leaning more towards my good cousin. And him and I would have conversations about how important it is to always be productive and how important it is to always kind of put yourself in a visionary mindset, right? For the first time in my life, I realized how important company is. Because whenever I would hang around too much with my bad cousin, then I would speak the way he speaks, which was very vulgar. All of the bad habits was attached to the behavior that my cousin was teaching me, you know? Now, from a young age, a lot of you guys watching this are probably between the ages of 18 to 24. That's what my demographics say. So a lot of you guys have a good head on your shoulders, but if you're not mindful being around your company and how they're affecting you, then it could be very, very easy for them to kind of turn you just like them. Now, there's this great saying that goes, low minds talk about people, average minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas. Now, this is a very, very clear way for you to be able to look at your friend group right now and ask yourself, what are the conversations that I'm having with my friends when we're out together, when we're out hanging out, when we're out doing an activity? Are we talking about people? Are we talking about events and trends and current news that's happening in the world? Or is it a productive time and we're talking about people? This will give you a good compass on how to navigate whether your friends truly are good for you or if they're pulling you down. Now, subhanAllah, I'll talk about this more towards the end of the video, but my friend and I were discussing this video that I'm creating right now, and he was saying how you don't want good friends, you want friends that are good. Are your friends just good friends? Are they just people who cheer you on when you're doing something bad? Or are they friends that are good so that they're going to hold onto their own moral compass, and when they see you falling down, they're going to pick you up and they're going to raise you and say, hey, I see that you're falling low. If your friend is a good person, and they genuinely care about you, they'll be able to identify the bad qualities in you. People that gossip, it's like being trash in a dumpster. You cannot understand that you're trash in a dumpster because there's smell all around you, and you don't even understand that your environment is bad because you are in it. But if you're someone who's outside of that dumpster, and you look at that dumpster and you can smell it and you can say, whoa, I'm not a part of that. It's hard for me to be a part of that because it reeks so bad. You know what I mean? And friendships, friend groups are very, very similar in that aspect. I think at the end of the day, you really have to ask yourself, are these the people that I want to be resurrected with? The people that we are with in this dunya, those are the people that we're going to be resurrected with on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And honestly, that is a very, very scary sight. If you have friends that take you to clubs, that take you to bad areas, that make you indulge in just vulgar speech, and they don't stop you when you are trying to grab something bad, or if you're trying to do something bad. Those are the same people that are going to pull you to the fire. Now, I'm not telling you guys to completely abandon your friends if they say something wrong or they say something negative. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say here is to really evaluate how you are in your friend group and to see if you can lead by example. Because change starts from within, and you can't really change your friend group if you yourself don't change. Have that conversation. Try having like a healthy conversation about your friend. I think this is where self-respect really shines, where you can say, hey man, I know we've been doing such and such, and according to our religion, according to my values, they don't align. They don't make sense. It's not befitting for us to act this way. It's not befitting for us to say these types of things, to talk about other people, to gossip, right? We need to make a change, right? And, you know, they should understand this, and they should say, you know what, man, like, you're right. I totally understand you. Let's take a step towards getting better. If your friend doesn't have that type of reaction, then you can start distancing yourself from them, because then those people genuinely, and I know this from past experiences, I wish someone told me this before, those people genuinely do not have the right intentions for you. They just want a good time, and they're going to hurt you in the process. But you watching this video, if you clicked on it, it's either because you have a bad friend, or you don't like your friend group, or something of those lines, you know, that your companionship in this world is very important. In Islam, we are always taught to be around people that serve us in good ways. And if this means you have to fly solo for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, if you have to fly solo and have no friend group and start from scratch, then I applaud you, because that takes a lot of strength, and that takes a lot of self-respect for you to pull back and to sit in your loneliness, to sit in your own presence, and to ask yourself, like, okay, how do I reassess my life? Maybe because you've been around a lot of bad friends, you've made a lot of bad choices, because they've made a lot of bad choices. But now, if you have to fly solo, you can sit back and you can ask yourself, like, okay, well, I'm not going to the masjid as much as I like to. I'm not praying my salah on time. I could be more modest in my speech. I could get my life together. Now you start to assess, and now you're thinking about what? Now you're thinking about ideas. And now you're thinking like someone that has a great mind. A tip that Sheikh Umar shared with us last night was, he has an uncle who passed away, may Allah bless his soul, that whenever someone gossiped, he went like this. He was like, nah, forget it, but why are you guys talking about them? He literally physically was like, just move it around. He didn't even want to entertain it. He looked down and he's just like, forget about it, you know? And that's something that I see my father doing a lot of the times as well. You have these noble people around you that give you these tools and give you these things that allow you to live a better life. A simple standard that you can start with whenever you're trying to create or make new friends or nurture your friendship is, you guys cannot tolerate mediocrity in your life. You cannot have such low standards for yourself, right? You always want to be improving yourself. You always want to be developing in a way that sets you up for success in the future. Like I said earlier, if you have to fly solo for some time, then go ahead and do that, because I promise you, if you're someone who was like me, who could never be alone and struggled with that loneliness inside, and you're just very extroverted and you love talking to people, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But who you allow in your inner circle and who you call an actual friend is going to change, right? If you're someone that struggled with being alone, then it'll be healthy for you to take a step back and sit in that discomfort, so that when you do start to nurture new friendships, you can learn how to respect their space, their opinions, and you can take a step back because you've taken a step back from a friend group that you were so attached from that was not serving you, right? So now you can choose, and you can be able to see things from an outer perspective, saying, dang, like, this person has good qualities. These are qualities that I want in my own self. So let me become friends with this person, right? And more than likely, they're going to have qualities that you guys can share and bounce off of and just learn a lot from. And you're going to be discussing ideas, which goes back to the quote that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Some things that I learned from my brotherhood, my friendship now. subhanAllah, I start to smile whenever I think about my friends. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them all in Jannah. Ameen. We challenge each other in a healthy way. And it's not even challenges that or competitions that we set out actively and tell each other, oh, I'm competing with you in this. But one of the beautiful things about a healthy friendship is when you can respect each other's space and you can respect each other's opinions, you'll look at each other differently and you'll start to notice the good that they're doing in their life. And it makes you be self-accountable with your own self and ask yourself, like, can I be doing what they're doing? Can I be doing better than what they're doing? And what they're doing in their own life is coming out of a place of sincerity. It's not coming out of a place for comedy, or it's not performative, or that's another thing, you know? When you have friends that are trying to make an impact in their own lives and the lives of other people that they're in touch with, then it really gives you an opening to ask yourself, like, what am I doing that actually matters in real life behind the screens when all the cameras are turned off, you know? All of my friends are in different sections of life, different categories of life. My best friend's an engineer. I have another friend who's a tech nerd. I have another friend who's in dental school, you know, and all of us have one thing in common, and that's self-improvement. I'm not saying we're like the best of best people, but I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, a little glimpse of what good friends should look like. They should push you forward and not pull you down. And if you really think about it, you want friends that are frequent in talking good, in good speech with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Friends that make dua, who are going to make dua for their families, that will in turn, if you are their friend, will make dua for you. All right, if you guys reached this far in the video, that means you guys are an absolute legend and you probably want to see my friends in action. God, that sounds like we're criminals. No, but really, if you guys want to see my friends and whatnot, check out my vlog playlist right over here where we rob banks and kidnap children. I'm just joking. I mean, you guys, majority of you guys see the vlogs anyway. I love you all. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.